Hey everyone! If you're new here, thanks for checking me out. And if you've watched my videos before, thanks for coming back. Today we're going to make the Fern Sweatpants by 5 out of 4. I am going to use this super soft and cozy knit. It's by Blended Thread Fabrics. It's called Bliss. And it's sort of like a minky. It is soft on both sides and it has some really good stretch to it. So it's definitely going to make for some really cozy warm pants. I am sewing the elastic cuff length, no pockets or anything like that, nothing fancy. And I will also put chapters in the description box below so that if you want to skip to any part of the tutorial, you can skip around. Also, if you want to see the rest of the fabrics that I got with this haul from Blended Threads from my latest pre-order, check the cards up top. I'll link that video there now. All right, that's it. If you want to see me sew it up, stick around. Okay, here are our options. We have shorts with a 5 or a 7-inch inseam and pants. You can hem the shorts or pants, or for the pants you can finish the hem with encased elastic or a cuff. And then you can also choose to add side seam pockets or a waistband drawstring. Okay, here are our required pieces. We have our 2 front pieces and our 2 back pieces. And as always, I have the backs marked with a blue marking, just with a water erasable pen. And we also have our elastic here. The measurements for the elastic are in the chart in the tutorial, and I have some pieced together here, just I guess from something else I was doing. So this is fine. What I'm probably going to do is, because I have these sticking up here, is just kind of press the seam allowance either open or to one side and just zigzag stitch that down just to hold that down so that that's not sticking out like that. And then if you are doing cuffs or pockets, you will also have some additional pattern pieces. I'm just doing the quick and easy version without pockets, so I don't really have many pieces. All right, so step 1 is going to be to take your front pieces, right sides together, and pin all along the crotch curve. Okay, once you have that pinned, you're going to sew that with a 3/8 inch seam allowance, and you're actually going to repeat the same step for the back of your pants. So once again, right sides together, and then pin and sew all along this crotch curve at a 3/8 inch seam allowance. All right. Once we have our crotch curve sewn, what you're going to do is switch this way. You're going to put your pants right sides together. And you are going to pin both side seams. So I know these are too big to fit in the frame, but all the way down, both side seams, you're going to pin those together. Okay, once you have both side seams pinned, you're going to sew down each side seam with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. But the next step is going to be to pin and sew this crotch curve together. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and get it all pinned now and then sew the 3 seams back to back. Just to make it a little bit quicker. Okay, so once again, sew each side seam as well as the entire crotch curve with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. All right, so once you have all of that sewn, we're almost done. I'm gonna work on our waistband next. Now, full transparency, I had started cutting these pants out a long time ago. I'm not exactly sure how long. It was whenever these were released. So it may have been the beginning of this year, it may have been last year, I'm not sure. So because of that, they were huge. I definitely needed to go down probably 1 to 2 sizes. So instead, what I did, because again, these were already half cut out, is I just took in the side seams more. So, instead of sewing the side seams at a 3/8 inch seam allowance, I took maybe 2.5 inches off of each side. And now they're pretty good. I tried them on and they're pretty good for me. I did do the crotch seam just at the 3/8 that the pattern calls for. So you can slim them down a little bit. So after you sew your crotch and your side seams, I do recommend just trying them on really quickly. They are a looser, baggier fit sweatpants. So, if you have to slim them down, go ahead. Or if you're looking for a little bit of an even snugger fit, I recommend sizing down. But definitely make a muslin just to see how they fit on you. Okay, so let's move on to our waistband. As I said, this is a piece of elastic that looks like I probably took it out of a pair of pants and I'm reusing it. This is 2-inch elastic, and there is a chart in the tutorial that will tell you how long to make your elastic. What you're going to do is just loop it into a circle, just like this, and then you're going to overlap the ends by a 1/2 inch, and then sew down that end there with a zigzag stitch, just to kind of flatten those ends out and to sew this into a circle. All right, so I went ahead and sewed that together. I like to make my zigzag stitch really wide so that it spans across the entire overlap there. And then I also, as I said I was going to, I just sewed down those other joints because I pieced this elastic together just to make sure everything was nice and flat. So next what we're going to do is quarter it. So your back seam would be your first quarter point, and then once you fold it in half, that half point would be your next one. Then match up those 2 points to get your other 2 quarter points. And one thing that I forgot to mention about the elastic is there is the chart in the tutorial for the measurement of elastic that you should use. However, that is just an estimate. So I recommend taking your 2-inch elastic and just wrapping it around your waist or wherever your pants are going to sit, and just seeing what's comfortable for you, because you might want, larger, you might want smaller. So, just try that out first before you actually cut your length of elastic. Okay, so we have that quartered. Then we're going to do the same thing to our pants. And our pants actually are basically already quartered because of the way they were sewn together. Looks like this point will be a little past the side seam here. As you can see, they're folded in half. And you could see that the fold is here after the side seam. So that's actually going to be my quarter point, not that side seam. And same on this side. Okay, so after you have this quartered, what you're going to do is slip your waistband in. Now, you can do this with your pants right sides out or wrong sides out. The tutorial, I think, recommends wrong sides out. I'm just going to do it right sides out because that's how my pants already are. And you're just going to match up those quarter points and pin your waistband elastic to your pants, and you're doing the elastic is pinned to the wrong side of your pants. So as I said, if you have your pants insides out, so wrong sides out, you would be pinning the elastic on the outside like this. Because my pants are already right sides out, I'm pinning the elastic to the inside. So just make sure the elastic is being pinned to the wrong side of your pants. Pin all 4 of those quarter points. And then we're going to sew that on. If you have to stretch your elastic, just slightly stretch your elastic just to match your waist here. Don't stretch your pants, only your elastic. And then what's going to happen is after we sew that on, the reason you want this sewn to the wrong side is we're going to fold that in to finish your waistband. So go ahead and sew that on. If you're using a serger, you don't want to cut anything off here. You don't want to cut your elastic. So go ahead and sew that on, and then I'll meet you back here. All right, once you have that sewn on, it looks like this on the inside. And now what we're going to do is we're going to fold this in one time. And I do like to clip it around just to kind of hold it. And you're going to stitch an eighth of an inch away from this edge. The tutorial says you can use a straight stitch. I'm going to just use my cover stitch. But basically you're just stitching as close as you can to this edge so that you hold this down. And you're going to stretch it just slightly as you do that, just so there aren't any puckers or anything like that while you're getting that sewn down. So go ahead, sew that waistband down, and then we will come back and finish the legs. All right, once you have that done, looks like this. Okay. So lastly, we're going to take care of the hem. Now I am going to do the encased elastic hem because I don't like anything baggy. I hate my pants touching the ground. I like them to be kind of tight to my ankle. So my hem's uneven here. Just gonna even that out a little bit. So what you're going to do, and what I forgot to mention in the required pieces, is you're going to cut your 2 pieces of ankle elastic. Now, the tutorial calls for 1/2 inch elastic, but I like a chunkier look at the ankle, so I'm using 1 inch. And again, just like with your waist, you want to measure your ankle to see where it's comfortable. I'm actually using a larger size than the chart recommends, so do whatever is comfortable for you. And you're going to take your ankle elastic, and just like we did with the waistband, overlap it 1/2 inch, and then sew down that overlap with a 1/2 inch seam, or excuse me, with a zigzag stitch, and then just repeat that with your other piece of elastic. Right. Once you have your loop sewn, we are going to treat these exactly like the waistband. So you're going to quarter your leg opening, sew it into the leg opening, and then fold it under once, and then top stitch. Okay, so I have both of these quartered. I'm going to match the quarter points. Once again, you could do this with your pants right side out or wrong side out. Just make sure that your elastic is being attached to the wrong side of your pants. And this, I could tell I'm going to have to stretch quite a bit. So just know that you're stretching the elastic and not the pants. Okay, so once again, I'm going to go ahead and stretch the elastic till it's even with the bottom of the pants and sew that on. And then I'm going to repeat those same steps with my other leg. Okay, so once you serge your elastic on, then there's one final step. Now, I do want to say, I had a super hard time stretching this elastic to fit. So I got a lot of puckers, like hopefully you can see like right here. And I just let it happen because that's going to be folded up anyway, and it's kind of gathered anyway. It's supposed to be. So not a huge deal. And I even used a larger elastic measurement than the chart called for. So I'm not sure if maybe that needs to be upped, or maybe I just used like a super stiff elastic that, didn't have a lot of stretch to it. But just know if you do have, some puckers like that, it's fine. Again, it's going to be tucked under anyway, and this is supposed to be gathered, so it's not a huge deal. So like I said, last step, just fold it in, and you're going to top stitch once again with either a straight stitch or a cover stitch. Again, just 1/8 of an inch away from that edge, and then repeat that with your other side. All right, so we're all finished. Look at how beautiful those turned out. You would never even know that I made a mistake underneath. And here's how they look on the inside. One thing to know is your waistband may look more gathered than mine. I don't typically like elastic waists, so I usually do a much larger elastic measurement than I should. So just so you know, if your waistband looks more gathered than mine, mine almost basically looks flat. Yours is the correct one. But that is it. We are all done. And now I have a pair of pants that I'm probably going to wear every single day until it gets warm again because they're just so soft and cozy. All right, so thank you so much for sewing along with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you'd like to see me sew up next. And as always, thank you so much for watching.